Democrats were quick to say Republicans blinked this week in a game of chicken on the debt limit. But the growing fight inside their own party over President Biden's domestic agenda means moderates and progressives are still playing chicken with each other. Joining us now, Democratic Senator Chris Coons, one of Joe Biden's closest advisors in Congress. Senator, welcome back.
Great to be on with you again, Chris.
So let's start with those disappointing jobs numbers from last month. As I said in my interview with Congressman Scalise, President Biden blamed the surge in the Delta variant of the coronavirus. But take a look at these numbers as well, sir. 183,000 Americans dropped out of the workforce just last month. There were 11 million job openings for the 7.7 million unemployed, and there are big supply chain backups. Senator, isn't it a lot more complicated than just COVID?
Sure, it is complicated, but let's focus on both the positives and the path forward. First, under President Biden, our economy has created 5 million jobs so far this year, on average 600,000 new jobs a month, and unemployment is below 5% for the first time since the pandemic.
But sir,
something we didn't project would happen until 2023.
But sir,
Chris,
I mean,
let me focus on why those people dropped out of the workforce. It's the high cost of daycare. I have folks who work for me who are paying more for daycare than they are for their mortgage. And the challenge is finding ways to care for our seniors, our children, to provide for a lower cost of health care are exactly why we're now going to move forward with President Biden's Build Back Better agenda.
But I mean, we do have to put it in context. The economists expected 500,000 jobs to be created last month and 194,000, and it's been a steady drop over that period of time. Childcare didn't get more expensive in September than it was in July or August. But I want to take your point that one of the ways that Joe Biden thinks that he can change things is by passing his big tax and spending bill. Question: Democrats can't continue to not agree on what to pass. Where is the sweet spot between Bernie Sanders' $3.5 trillion social spending bill and Joe Manchin's $1.5 trillion spending bill?
Well, Chris, what I think matters most is the policies that we agree on as Democrats, that we should reduce the costs facing most working families, the cost of health care, the cost of child care, the cost of things like paid family leave and pre-K, and come together around a package that is fully paid for. We're going to reverse some of the tax giveaways from 2017 to big companies that are paying nothing in taxes to the wealthiest Americans so that we can give a middle-class tax cut and reduce the costs that are weighing on everyday Americans. But that's a package we can all agree on. And I think the ultimate price will be around $2 trillion. But it's the policies that really matter. And as a caucus, we agree on those.
But $2 trillion is a lot different than $3.5 trillion. You get a different set of policies and packages for, basically a little bit more than half of what Bernie Sanders is talking about. And that raises the question, where is the sweet spot between having all the programs, Joe Manchin the progressives, are saying keep all the programs, just fund them for a shorter period of time and hope that they attract American support, and so therefore they become a permanent part of the landscape. And then you've got Joe Manchin saying no, cut some of the programs, eliminate some of them, and means to test others. And I tell you that on ABC this morning, Treasury Secretary Yellen said she thinks some of these programs should be means tested. Don't give benefits to test others, and to people who can afford it without a government hold subsidy. So where are you on this question of fund all of them for a shorter period of time or target fewer programs and mean test them?
I think we should be moving forward, Chris, with programs that'll have a real impact on people's lives. And I'll give you two quick examples. The child tax credit is already having an enormous impact on child poverty and wants to means test it. So folks who are earning $300,000 or $400,000, and I'll give you two quick dollars, aren't getting the child. That's a compromise point we can all come together around. As I just mentioned, the cost of high-quality daycare is out of reach for too many and I'll give you two. That's an important getting working families. I think we should do for as long as we can, because it'll have such an impact on children, on families, and on our country. Chris, for too long, we haven't invested in our infrastructure. And in the Senate, we've passed a big bipartisan infrastructure bill that's waiting in the House to go to the president's desk. Now our task is to pass a bold bill that'll make a difference in the health and education of our workforce and our families. And I'm really optimistic we will get both of these bills to President Biden's desk by the end of this month, hopefully, possibly by the end of the year. But in any event, it'll make a huge difference for our country and our future.
After Republicans agreed this week to bend and help Democrats pass the debt limit, Senator Schumer took to the floor of the Senate to make some comments. I want you to watch them, and particularly to look at the expression on Joe Manchin's face just over Senator Schumer's shoulder. Take a look.
Leader McConnell and Senate Republicans insisted they wanted a solution to the debt ceiling, but said Democrats must raise it alone by going through a drawn-out, convoluted, and risky reconciliation process. That was simply unacceptable to my caucus.
Senator, do you really want to tick off not only every Republican senator, but also the one key Democratic senator, Joe Manchin, that you need to pass anything in the Senate?
Look, frankly, I agree with the reasons why Senator Schumer was so frustrated, that this standoff over the debt limit was risky, was unnecessary, was a manufactured crisis. But partly why Senator Manchin had his head in his hands was he thinks our leaders should be talking to each other directly. And all of us agree that we need more civility in our Congress and our country. If we're going to solve problems facing the American people, we have to be able to work together. So while I completely understand President Schumer's deep frustration, the timing may not have been the best.
You said President Schumer. I think you meant Senator Manchin.
I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry.
Maybe we should say President Manchin at this point. Finally, you're close to Joe Biden, and I wanted you to take a look at a Quinnipiac poll that came out this week with some pretty bad numbers for the president. 38% now approve of the job he's doing, while 53% disapprove. More than half of those surveyed, 55% to 42%, say the Biden administration is not competent. Whether it's the pullout from Afghanistan or the flood of migrants across the border into places like Del Rio, Texas, whether it's surging inflation or whether it's COVID, which President Biden declared independence from on July 4th, and we've just gone through a really ugly surge in the Delta variant. The fact is, most voters are turning against your guy.
Chris, I'm genuinely optimistic that in the Senate, we are going to get the Build Back Better bill and pass it and get it over to the House, and the House is going to send the infrastructure bill and the Build Back Better bill to the president's desk. Here's the truth. Wages are going up, COVID cases are going down, jobs are getting created and filled. It has been a tough month. The Delta variant has been a challenge, but I believe we've got a talented, capable, compassionate president, and ultimately Congress is going to do its job in getting to his desk the two bills that'll really put a lift under our economy and empower him with the tools he needs to get us out of this pandemic and to get our economy really going again.
I got 30 seconds here. You are perhaps the senator closest, you're both from Delaware, you've also known each other for decades, to Joe Biden. It has been a bad month, no question about it, whether it's immigration, whether it's Afghanistan, some of these other things. Do you ever say to him, hey, here's some advice, you got to change things?
We do have heart-to-heart talks. I appreciate the chance to talk with him directly. One of the reasons why I have supported, I do support, and I'll continue to support Joe Biden, is he's a person who deeply believes in us. He believes in our nation. He believes in standing up and fighting for democracy on the world stage and on strengthening American families here at home. And I'm confident that his leadership in the end will prove out to have been successful.
So you just see what we've had in September as a rough patch, not something more permanent and more troubling?
Absolutely. I am optimistic that by the end of this year, we'll look back at what happened in October and November and say it set the stage for a very positive 2022 ahead.
Senator Coons, thank you. Thanks for sharing part of your weekend with us. Please come back, sir.
Thanks, Chris.